Boots against Ortiz.
If Boots get hurt like he did the last time, Ortiz gonna finish him.
Wow.
So he gotta tighten up his defense.
10 steps behind you, right?
He gotta tighten up his defense. He gotta stop exchanging. I know he's.
Vergil is gonna get in the ring with you. You think he wants to fight you at this point? I know y'all had whatever y'all had before, but I mean it's a new day, new division. Like you here now. So do you think that fight can be made?
I don't know. I hope so. We went all the way down to his fight by ourselves. They ain't pay for nothing. We paid for our own flight, hotel, our own ticket. We went all the way down there to him and Lubin fight. I get all the way in the ring and all that stuff. We arguing back and forth. I'm thinking it's done. I get out the ring. I'm thinking it's done. I wake up the next day. I hear him talking about some Errol Smith's dream fight. I'm like, hey, bro, it just in there. I'm like, what's going on? That's like him coming to my fight. We getting in front of each other, and I'm like, Danny Garcia, my dream fight. Like, right. The fans be going crazy. Like, yo, I don't know, it's crazy. But I thought that fight was done. Hopefully do. If not, whatever, so be it. Like I said, I'm down here. I'm already. This is my second fight at this weight class, and I'm already a unified champion. He's been at this weight class for how long now? So I don't know. So yeah.
Right now, I think Boots will fight anybody at 154. You heard it from him. He said he'll fight anybody. Anybody with a belt. Or anybody that's a top dog. And just speaking of that fight with Vergil, it's going to be like a standing on his type of beatdown. That's what it's going to be.
Terence Crawford has cautioned Jaron "Boots" Ennis ahead of a possible matchup with Vergil Ortiz Jr. He stated that if Ennis suffers damage the same way he did against Zayas, Ortiz will be the one to complete the task, unlike Zayas. Crawford contended that Ennis must tighten his defensive work and reduce needless trades, conceding that while Ennis is quicker and more dynamic than most boxers in his class, he has displayed a pattern of becoming reckless and battling purely for the sake of battling.
You gotta tighten up his defense. He gotta stop exchanging. I know he's faster than most. He's more explosive than most, but at the same time, he's shown in the past that he can get careless and that he's going out there just to fight, and I don't think when you get higher and higher, that's going to be enough.
Eddie said this would be a massive fight, you versus him.
Crawford brought up an extended dialogue with promoter Eddie Hearn regarding a potential Crawford versus Ortiz megafight, saying he had challenged Hearn before his own Canelo bout to finance the matchup financially if he genuinely believed in Ortiz, and that Hearn refused to put money behind it.
Huge.
Eddie been talking about that for a long time. But the crazy thing about it is I told Eddie, I said, Eddie, this is before Canelo. I said, Eddie, you keep talking about this fight so much. Put your money up. Eddie said, I'm not paying for that fight. I said, why not? You believe in your fighter? I'm not paying for that fight. I said, I rest my case.
Crawford pushed against that interpretation, insisting that if Zayas did quit, his corner ought to have made that decision for him rather than leaving it up to him. He described Zayas as merely inexperienced, explaining that glancing toward the corner during a hard moment is a normal instinct for survival, not an indication of quitting, and said he would not tag Zayas that way given he never had to step inside the ropes against Ennis to begin with.
As inexperienced, like he really just gave his corner the opportunity to do whatever they wanted. That's how I see it.
Okay, meaning when he looked over to them?
Right.
Okay.
But that's what you taught. You taught when you get a knockdown or if you get hurt, look at your corner. So I wouldn't say that he quit because he took the big step in getting in there when he didn't have to.
Looking forward, Jaron Ennis said he wants at least one more bout before the year ends as he chases undisputed status at 154 pounds, calling this phase of his career a legacy tour. He named Sebastian Fundora, Vergil Ortiz Jr., and Josh Kelly as the other belt holders in the division, and expressed hope, though uncertainty, that a fight with Ortiz could still materialize.
Get in the ring with you. You think he wants to fight you at this point? I know y'all had whatever y'all had before, but I mean, it's a new day, new division, like you here now. So do you think that fight can be made?
I don't know. I hope so. We went all the way down to his fight by ourselves. They ain't pay for nothing. We paid for our own flight, hotel, our own ticket. we went all the way down there to him and Lubin fight. I get all the way in the ring and all that stuff. We arguing back and forth. I'm thinking it's done. I get out the ring. I'm thinking it's done. I wake up the next day. I hear him talking about some Errol Smith's dream fight. I'm like, hey, bro, it just in there. I'm like, what's going on? That's like him coming to my fight. We getting in front of each other, and I'm like, Danny Garcia, my dream fight. Like,
Right.
the fans be going crazy. Like, yo, I don't know, it's crazy. But I thought that fight was done. Hopefully do. If not, whatever, so be it. Like I said, I'm down here. I'm already. This is my second fight at this weight class, and I'm already a unified champion. He's been at this weight class for how long now? So I don't know. So like I said, I'm here to collect these belts and take over this division. So I ain't doing too much waiting around for nobody.
On weighing legacy against finances, Ennis said money matters given his financial duties, but that being remembered as a fighter who cleared out multiple weight classes and never lost holds equal importance to him.
What's your balance, Boots, with the legacy thing and then making sure you get your paper and getting your chicken in negotiations? Like, what's the balance between like not giving too much and just being all legacy, but also being a businessman and a guy that's about legacy?
I mean, well, the older I'm getting now, of course it's the money, because I gotta eat. I got family. I got stuff. I got business. I got cribs. I got house. I got stuff going on. So of course it's the money too, but that legacy really important to me as well too, because you gotta stamp yourself. I don't want to be one of those boxers where they forget about you. You feel me? And I want to be one of those boxers where, like, when I retire as an undefeated, legend, I want them to be like then he did everything. He fought everybody. He beat everybody. He moved up multiple weight classes and took over like every division he was at. And I want to leave that mark.
Couple more, and I'm gonna let you get out of here.
Veteran promoter Bob Arum reflected on Xander Zayas' performance against Jaron Ennis, admitting that he would have preferred Zayas to gain more seasoning before accepting such a dangerous assignment. However, Arum respected the young champion's readiness to test himself and pointed to the success Zayas enjoyed in certain stretches, particularly during the third round, as proof of his promise.
Well, I think, we would have preferred Xander not to take that fight because he was young and wasn't really ready. But he insisted that he wanted that fight. And it may not turn out so bad because, as you said, people remember that round where he had Boots in a lot of trouble, the third round.
Yeah.
Discussing a hypothetical collision between Ennis and Terence Crawford, our room made it clear that he still views Crawford as one of boxing's most difficult riddles to decipher. He portrayed Crawford as a rare fighter capable of shifting seamlessly between orthodox and southpaw stances while maintaining elite effectiveness from both sides.
I don't know, Crawford is an awfully good fighter. And, it would take a real wizard to beat him. Crawford has something that no other fighter around has, and people haven't commented on it, and that is he fights equally well as a southpaw or as a right-hander. And so when you train for a fight, usually the fighter he's fighting trains for him as an orthodox fighter, right-handed fighter. And so from the first round on, he'll turn southpaw. And the guy isn't ready for him. That's what beat Spence. Spence trained for the fight like he was fighting an orthodox fighter in Terence, and Terence fought him as a southpaw.
Coach Brian McIntyre was asked whether Jaron Boots Ennis is ushering in his own period of boxing, similar to how Terence Crawford once distinguished his generation from Floyd Mayweather's, the Boots era. Acknowledging Ennis as a great fighter, but pointing out that he still has to share the spotlight with other young active talents like Shakur Stevenson and Naoya Inoue.
And when you say that, I'm just curious because I know Terence, he had his era and he was very complimentary in the sense of like, look, it's like Floyd and me, like, that's never going to happen. And in a case like this is like the Boots era, right? So, I mean, with you who understands multi-divisions, like, do you kind of see Jaron kind of being one of those next guys, if anything, kind of following the footprints of?
I gotta
I think he have to. I mean, he's a great fighter. He can start his own air like what he's doing now, but he got a lot of guys he got to compete with, like Shakur. You know, he got Inoue. You know, those guys are young and still fighting. So I wouldn't gonna really call it the Boots air. I just think he's a great fighter in the air with other guys that can say this was my air.
McIntyre expanded on the broader landscape at 147 and 154 pounds, naming Vergil Ortiz Jr. and Sebastian Fundora alongside Ennis as part of a 50-50 tier where no clear frontrunner exists until they actually square off. He noted that Ortiz has a history of finishing opponents once he hurts them, while Fundora's height and reach have allowed him to steadily clear out the division despite an earlier defeat on his ledger.
You know, with that, I know, like, there's the Fundoras and Vergils, like, they all have to fight each other to even come to that conclusion. I mean, is that amongst those guys, is there someone stand out a little bit more, or is it still kind of 50-50 across?
I think it's a 50-50 across the board, you know, because when you look at Vergil and when he get guys hurt, like maybe Boots was hurt, you know, he finished them off. You look at Fundora with the range and the height he got, you know, even though he'd been beat before, since then he's just been cleaning them up. And so we all waiting to see, you know, when those two or three, you know, like the Four Kings, when they tangle. So we, you know, as boxer fans, we just sit back and wait.
Turning to Ennis' win over Xander Zayas, McIntyre said Ennis had passed a major test and is now set for his next big challenge. He drew a historical parallel likening the current build-up among top welterweights to the way Marvin Hagler's win over Tommy Hearns set the stage for the next great matchup of that era, joking that fans are now waiting to see who steps up next the way Sugar Ray Leonard or Roberto Duran once did.
And so, you know, Boots, he got over that hurdle, a big hurdle, and so it's on for the next one.
For sure.
That's like when Marvin Hagler beat Tommy Hearns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, all right, he's down there, and now we got Sugar Ray Leonard next, or Roberto Duran next, you know, so everybody just sit by.
Boxing analyst Timothy Bradley Jr. said he believes Sebastian Fundora is one of the few boxers who could give Jaron Boots Ennis real problems, but stressed this is due to Fundora's physical tools rather than superior boxing skill. Bradley pointed to Fundora's length, output, knockout power, and ability to manage distance as assets that make him a tricky, awkward opponent for anyone trying to close the gap.
Give Boots a run from his money. He could. And I only say that because of his attributes. Not because of his boxing skills. It's because of his attributes. That's why. This guy has, and it's Sebastian Fundora. You guys know who he is. He's a southpaw too, right? He has range. He has volume. He has punching power as well. Okay? He knows how to keep his distance. He's difficult. I know he's been knocked out before. I know that. But you got to go through a dang rain of fire to be able to get close to this guy if he don't want you to get close. Now, everybody's saying, well, Thurman was supposed to get whooped. I told y'all Thurman was going to get whooped too. Y'all heard it here too. Y'all said he going to get whooped. Okay? But I was studying the film the other day, and Boots has the style that I believe that can give him fits because of his elusiveness.
Bradley claimed Fundora currently has a full year to satisfy a WBC mandatory obligation, but is choosing not to pursue a fight with Ennis, suggesting Fundora's team wants no part of that matchup while Vergil Ortiz Jr. remains caught up in legal issues, a fight Bradley said he personally wants to see happen first.
That's why you see Fundora wanting to fight, because he don't have to fight his mandatory. I'm letting y'all know that right now. He got a year to fight his mandatory. An entire year with the WBC, right? And all he has to do is ask the WBC, hey, I want to pursue this bigger venture with Boots Ennis, but as you see, the manager, all right, They don't want it to do anything. They don't want anything to do with Boots. Nothing to do with Boots. And so people saying, well, Boots ain't fighting nobody. Boots ain't fight. So when now he wants to fight somebody, right? And nobody wants to fight him. And nobody wants to fight him. So we've heard that Josh Kelly might want to do it because Hearns got Josh Kelly. Okay, that's might want to do it. Vergil is tied up in litigation. Hopefully he can get his stuff together because that's the fight that I want to see first. I want to see Vergil and Boots first. But if you can't get that, then why is Fundora, hiding and ducking and, the towering inferno? And I got nothing but love and respect for him because that man is from around my way. He's from around my way. He from the valley. I got nothing but respect for Fundora. Okay? But I think what it is that they see the danger in fighting him right now. He's hot right now. Let him cool down a little bit.
Bradley argued that fighters often lose sight of the fans who ultimately bankroll the sport through ticket sales and pay-per-view purchases. Drawing on his own career approach of fighting aggressively to please audiences even at the cost of absorbing more punishment, he said that in a properly run sport, marquee fights like Fundora versus Ennis.
Fighters always forget that the fans, you guys at home, you guys watching, you the ones that's paying for this. Y'all the ones that buy the tickets. Y'all the ones. I was a fighter, I understand that. That's the reason why I fought the way I fought. Tim, you got hit a lot. You got hit a lot. I was short. I had a big head. Yeah, I slipped punches as well. I did get hit quite a bit because I'm being aggressive. Because I'm trying to please the fans at home. Okay? So, Fundora, Josh Kelly, all these fights, they should be made. If boxing was a sport, it was a real sport and ran the right way, those fights will be happening. We wouldn't have to wait 10 years, 15 years, 5 years.
Switching to Fundora's next scheduled bout, Bradley predicted a comfortable victory over his upcoming opponent, describing him as a short, stocky, forward-pressing fighter with some power but limited technical skill and reach who Bradley expects Fundora to stop given his overwhelming size edge.
Fundora's going to fight this guy, what's his name? Ermel Hadriba. He's, I think he's an Albanian, if I'm not right. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's Albanian. He is. Got some pop on his shots. I was watching him last night. He ain't gonna have anything for Fundora. Nothing at all. Makes a lot of mistakes. Fundora's gonna capitalize on him. He's not that tall. Doesn't have very long arms as well. Very short, stubby, explosive guy. Likes to come forward. But Fundora gonna eat him up. And Fundora gonna stop him when they do fight. But like I said, Fundora, you got a year, bud, to handle that. This guy just won his title not a couple of months ago. 2 months ago. He was like the one of the little mandatory titles holders, one of those.
Showbiz defended Jaron Ennis against the criticism, arguing that a dominant stoppage with 3 knockdowns should have silenced any questions about his ability. He also praised Xander Zayas for refusing to back down, explaining that once he realized he couldn't outbox Boots, he chose to stand and trade instead.
Listen, bro, you cannot slap somebody on the hand for not being exciting enough, and you can't slap them on the hand for dominating somebody and dropping them 3 damn times and stopping them to become unified champion in a fight that is questioning his whole entire resume. How good is Boots really? You cannot criticize on every side, all right? Now let's talk about Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas choosing to take the fight to Boots. He did right because he tried to box him the first round. People didn't realize that. Boots Ennis was snapping his head with a jab, and Xander Zayas said, you know what? You're not going to slow groove me. We're going to have a fight right now, because he couldn't outbox him.
Sean Zittel hailed Jaron Ennis's victory over Xander Zayas as an instant classic. He praised Boots for fearless, all-action style and willingness to take risks inside the ring. Zittel believed Ennis delivered the kind of performance that reminded fans why boxing is so thrilling. He even placed Boots alongside David Benavidez, Bam Rodriguez, and Naoya Inoue as one of the sport's most exciting fighters today.
After Jaron Ennis knocks out Xander Zayas with 3 knockdowns in a 7th round knockout in a classic fight, in a shootout that is going to be one of those fights you could replay 10, 15, 20 years from now and it'll still be fun to watch. So let's get right into it from the jump. Round 1 happens and Ennis lands his first 4 or 5 jabs he throws and peppers Xander Zayas. Not a good sign for Zayas right out of the gate. But Ennis, who came out using his jab, being, the daredevil he is, being the explosive fighter he is, he decides to make it a fight. And that was impressive tonight by Jaron Ennis and exciting by Jaron Ennis tonight. And I'll start on that note by saying I think Boots Ennis, David Benavidez, Bam Rodriguez, and Naoya Inoue are the most sensational fighters and spectacular fighters in boxing right now.
So, that's everything from today's video, and we hope you have enjoyed it. Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more great content.